Hi there everybody, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel, Chinergy Awakens Naturally. I'm here hiking today and was just thinking about something that happened yesterday, and I wanted to take the opportunity to just talk about this, use it as an educational point, and rather than get angry, upset, and bothered by it, how can I work this into my favor and use this for informational purposes, learn from it, and possibly share the experience to have other people learn as well. So as you may or may not know, it is Pride Month in the United States. Our gay and lesbian community, LGBTQ IA+, I believe it is. If I'm incorrect in that, I'm sorry. I do not mean to be disrespectful. I'm accepting of all people. However, vulnerable populations are definitely ones that I fight for and fight hard, because I fall into vulnerable population a lot with autism and, just being kind of dorky and awkward. I have been taken advantage of by being in a vulnerable population, so I understand it. I myself am not transgender, I am heterosexual, etc. And normally I don't announce that because it's not anyone's business. What you see is what you get. And if we get to that point in an intimate relationship, we'd both know what that was about. And I'm very honest, I don't play games. So here we go. The reason that's relevant and pertinent is that I posted on my social media, a couple of different places, some pride support and pride awareness content. Nothing that denoted myself as one way or the other, or anything other than I support this cause, and I support many. I support a lot, as I said, a lot of vulnerable populations, and so that's what my content is largely about, is learning how to live on planet Earth. We are all Earth citizens. Not one of us got our breath any differently than any other, and none of us will lose it any differently. And to my way of thinking, that means that I don't care what you believe in or where you go or how you do it, as long as we're treating one another with kindness and respect, then groove it and move it however you want to. And kindness and respect involves not asking you a lot of deets about what you're wearing under your clothes or what you do in the privacy of your own home or how you conduct your business. It's your life. As long as there's no unconsenting people, animals, etc., then rock it hard and long. And as long as it's not, deemed to be illegal behavior, as in unconsenting activity, and definitely illegal. Now we get into some, motions and weird stuff with people and what's legal, what's universal law legal, what's out of balance, to take advantage of someone, to be hateful, to be just cruel and unkind, etc. I'm not talking necessarily just related, to things that are controversial in the social arena. So let me get to the point, 3 minutes in, that on my content yesterday, I had someone that I have, a number of followers on one of my social media platforms, and this person, I don't know people. I had to quit, letting everybody be my friend, because most of them are not there for any other purpose except for stuff that I am absolutely not interested in, not interested in it at all. So I learned my lesson, and I just, allow people to follow or not to follow. However, it's a public platform, so I'm subject to receive whatever comments come, and whatever nasty stuff might come, I just block it and keep on moving. But this time, I not only blocked it and kept it moving, I want to keep it moving even further today, to say that when I posted something yesterday, it was a Wednesday, today's Thursday, duh, yesterday was Wednesday, traditionally, hump day, and most of us, at least me anyway, I don't go into some weird place with calling that hump day. It's got the image of a camel, and, it's the middle of the week, hump day, and it straddles the week. It's no big deal. Well, in my photo editing, I was looking for a hump day, sticker that I could put on my picture, and happy Wednesday, that kind of thing. And I came across something, it said happy hump day, and it's all rainbow, etc. Now mind you, I had already posted something in support of Pride Month, happy Pride Month, happy everything, just be happy and kind, I'm good with you, doesn't matter what you do, just I support this cause. So yesterday, whenever I posted that happy hump day and put Wednesday, and it was all different color flags that said Wednesday, and it wasn't necessarily designated as Pride sticker. It was what I picked, and even if it was, it doesn't matter. It's my platform and my photo editing and my whole responsibility as an all the way grown up person to decide how I would decorate my own content. So anyhow, this person that I do not know, okay, public platform, but I friended this person, so I get what I get. But this person left a comment after probably, liking pictures and, all of this for at least 6 months, maybe a year. I don't know. I've seen the name over time. But this person said, God will judge you. And so I thought, right after I blocked him, went, okay, whatever. I went and looked at the profile just to see, did I miss something? Because usually I weed that stuff out by now, a year and a half or 2 years later of doing this. I don't friend new people, and I unfriend others that I see weird stuff come up on their platform. If it contains, any kind of hate speech or any kind of, anything that's inconsistent with my values, I don't need friends. Thanks. Unfriend. It's public. I don't need that. That's not how I, earn my keep. It's a hobby. So I don't need the hassle, and I certainly don't want to give the impression that I support that junk. So I don't spend a lot of time scrolling through Facebook. However, when I know I need to, I just kind of scroll through and look at somebody's page, and if they have something even remotely questionable, block and keep it moving without comment, because that's their platform. And that's their grown-up decision, even though it's immature, AF in my opinion. It's their platform. So anyhow, this person, I blocked him and was thinking about it and thought, I wonder, what I could say about this, because I'm not going to bother to try to educate somebody who's that ignorant or that forthright in shooting their opinion out to, me as someone they don't know. I'm certainly not going to take the time to try to educate that or move it on. However, in a broader context, let's talk about that and see if that is applicable to anybody else that might be struggling with what, is that people make many, 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 many assumptions, and we do already know making assumptions makes an ass out of you and me. Well, duh, except that we don't really take that into understanding fully just how many wrong ways we can go when we do things like that. First of all, let's break it down. This person assumes, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, and that's, again, I'm not going to waste my time to go investigate it, because there's too much leaning in the direction of to bother. However, this man, I'm assuming, jumped out there and made the automatic presumption that I am either in the Pride community, doing more than supporting possibly, and even if I was in the community, it doesn't matter, but he was making a judgment of that based on a sexuality preference that he has zero knowledge of, other than I support it. Why I support it, how I support it, the extent, etc. I didn't state, because it's not anyone's business, and it's it's like having a bumper sticker on your car. I don't expect people to leave me a comment on my car if I had a bumper sticker with a pride flag. I mean, it's the same dumb idea. It's just social media, and the keyboard rangers like to get busy in their power moment of, yeah, okay, coward. But anyway, so there's that first assumption, is you're assuming perhaps that I'm a woman, I'm guessing, because I want to say this person's made comment about, broody, that kind of thing. So you're assuming I'm a woman, perhaps, probably, because it gives that appearance. And you're assuming possibly that if you thought I used to be, in your mind you thought I was heterosexual, now you think I'm not, and that's now, point of contention that you've got to come up after 6 months or a year to no longer support my content and make a judgy comment. You're assuming that I support it somehow that you don't approve of, just supporting it in general, but you have no idea to what extent that I do this, and it's none ya anyway, as in none ya business. However, keep moving on. Then there's the assumption that I'm gonna resonate with you telling me about God, or that I have some need to be schooled up on moral judgment or social mores or social boundaries or anything having to do with what is proper, right, and good, and holy, sacred, etc. So you've brought a religious aspect into it. This person has brought a religious aspect into it, assuming that I have some respect for religious aspects. What if I'm atheist and really just don't care? I personally am not. However, assuming that I need to know what God thinks. If I don't believe in God, if I believe in Brahma, Allah, Muhammad, some other deity other than the Christian version of God, then you're wasting your breath, your time, and you're being highly offensive and over the line regardless. So there's that assumption, is that because I'm, white Karen America, perhaps looking, that I'm gonna resonate or care or give credence to the fact that somebody's telling me what God will do. That also presumes that this person knows God intimately and knows exactly how that's going to go on my judgment day. As he said, I will be judged. So I'm assuming, if we're in the God context, I'm assuming now, that the God context will mean that when I, die, or when, all of it comes to pieces, that's when I will be judged for my errors of thinking. And did the Bible not say something about judge not lest you be judged? However, let's not even remotely bring up the Bible, because it's not an applicable sacred text whenever you can't quote God directly. So Jesus has the red words. Stop that, my dog's tearing things up. Jesus has the red words. To my knowledge, we have no, red words on what God said. It's all interpreted through prophets, etc. So I'm not going to consider that someone on social media who I don't even know, that can't tolerate having something outside their boundaries, is going to be a good indicator of, I'm prophet material and I'm judging and telling you that God's going to judge you, because that was a judgment. I hope you can hear me. That was a judgment to tell me that God was going to judge in the first place. What? Do you see how many ways wrong this is? No, and why I didn't bother to say anything. But the assumption then is that if this person was intimately connected to God and had the, sitting at the right hand of the Father thing, that because of what I do in the background, I'm going to be judged without having any idea what that means. Now, going back to understand that that particular post about Hump Day had absolutely nothing to do with pride. It did not. It just so happened to look like, and because I had other material that supports pride, it looked, I guess, like I was continuing to go over his line of tolerance. And it doesn't matter to tell me that you know something more than the average human being. Dude, I'm sorry, but unless you have a red phone right up there to the big fella, I don't want to hear it. Unless you can be spouting prophecy that's, instantly happening and create, Moses parting the Red Sea kind of experiences, then please don't tell me about what God is going to do. Please don't give me a reference, a frame of reference for what God is and how that whole system operates, because it's lost on me. It's respected in me that you have your opinion, your thoughts, etc. However, that's why we are where we are, is people take a whole lot of latitude and a whole lot of, just over the line steps in pushing their agendas forward in why it is that you don't deserve, they don't deserve. I deserve because I believe, and but yet not understand, hear, know, etc. The hypocrisy dripping out of the mouth at the same time. Jesus, red words in the Bible, I like to quote that stuff and leave that other stuff, that's up for interpretation, and even the red words get misinterpreted a whole lot. Basically, Jesus said, love everybody, treat everybody like your brother. And if I were treating everybody like my brother, I would do exactly what I did, which is push that off and say, no, that doesn't work for me. I wasn't disrespectful, I wasn't hateful, I wasn't mean. I didn't say anything. I just shut it down, blocked it, and kept it moving. If I was looking to engage and fight a battle point that was stupid, then I would have sat down and gotten all keyboard ranger about it myself and gotten into some stupid debate that's just a waste of time. How do I know any more than he does? However, I have confidence and I don't live in fear that Judgment Day is coming because of what I think. What I do is move in integrity, move with respect, and treat all people with kindness and respect, regardless of what their thoughts and patterns and beliefs are, or whatever their weird programming might be, and whatever their sideline hobbies, etc. If they are toxic, I don't spend time with them and I don't support them. However, I don't wish them dead. I don't, hope that they meet, some horrible doom in hell sometime in the very near future. I don't hope that, demons possess them and ruin their life and dragging them to the gates and back. I just don't, because that's cruel, it's mean, and if somebody can tell me that they honestly believe that Jesus would be okay with saying that out of his mouth, that that's what God's Son was reportedly saying to earth, was when it gets to the point that they're not doing what you want them to do, then go on ahead and crucify them, because that's what they did to me. Did that work? Did that work? They crucified a man for saying, be tolerant, be kind, be loving, be forgiving, and treat everyone like your brother. Treat everyone like you want to be treated. He was crucified for that very same agenda. And there's a man yesterday spouting that same ridiculous notion that, did you learn anything while you were studying those Bible verses that give you a place to stand in self-righteous judgment of someone else and talk about judgment and not have any idea what you are talking about in terms of what you thought about my picture, that because you assumed something about my sexuality or what I do in my private time and whom I do it with, that somehow you have the right to step into my world and make that known. If God needed help, do you think that this would be a one-person crusade? There have been prophets. Jesus came and couldn't get the job done because humans are stubborn and very egotistical. It's time for everybody to back up, back down, and fall out, fall back if you don't have the guts to stand up and say, I allow that person to go to their glory and meet whatever they meet, choosing whatever they've chosen, whether they're a murderer or Mother Teresa and everything in between, because it's not my job to do that. If there is some judgment day, if there is some atonement, which I can't guarantee there's not, I don't personally support it, nor do I believe it. However, if there is, I do. If I'm going to be courageous and honest and stand in balance, I have to acknowledge that I don't know that for certain. I have no hard evidence on that. The only evidence I have is what works for me, which is not to walk around judging harshly and blindly, ignorantly saying things to people without having any idea what the context is of which I'm talking. There is no reason for me to let my opinion be known half the time, and most of the time whenever people leave comments, they're very kind and I have no problem with them. However, that one, obviously, it didn't trigger me into wanting to do something nasty or hateful to him. It made me sad that, are we ever going to learn? Are we 1717? Are we ever going to get the point that the very reason that the man that you herald as God's Son was crucified was because of ignorance, exactly like that. And it has nothing to do with people's sexuality, because if it wasn't sexuality, it's something else. There's always some other thing that is picked as what is wrong, because there's always going to be, in that system, something that's wrong, and here's why. It's because you have that job. It's because you sleep with that person. It's because you get your money that way. It's because you hang out with that person, because you listen to that music, because you're overweight, because you're this color, because you're that religion. I mean, there's always some clique, some niche, some something, and that's fear-based. I don't live my life in fear. I live my life with the courage and the knowing that I choose what I choose based on my heart and based on what I know is the right, like right angle right thing to do, not what I self-righteously think is right in my human mind, because my human mind, when my ego gets involved, that's the last hooker that needs to be involved with deciding what's right and wrong. What's right and wrong can be understood and balanced quite well in understanding nature and natural law, and there isn't all of that prejudice and weird stuff about the ego in the natural order or in the natural world. So I follow that and listen less and less to humans. However, have to give a whole lot of latitude to humans to be able to say and do whatever they have to do. And if it's, I hope you can hear me, if it's possible for other people to learn or glean something from my experiences of being able to pull that apart and just say, how many levels of wrong? It's more empowering and much more faith-filled and courageous and a strong position to stand in silence of that and just block it and then move it on and say, here's an indication of, where some blind stuff is. Let's take a look at it. And rather than call this person out, screenshot it and make it a big deal, that's just a pissing match and an ego battle. So I don't get into it from that standpoint either. And as I said, there is no point in trying to bring this person up to speed on, do you know how blind and ignorant you are? Slider, you stink. And that's beyond anything that I have soap for, because that's not my issue for you to go wash. Go find your own and get to some holy water immediately, which is not that holy, what the of inconsistency and hypocrisy that mud bog you're standing in at the moment. So anyhow, my dog is losing his mind. I think he's done. He's torn up the bottom of my feet pretty well, so we're going to move it on. I hope this finds you well no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing. And remember, friend, get within your skin, because your divine is absolutely fine, and it doesn't matter how you spend your time as long as you are answering the need of your heart center in a balanced, loving, and kind way. Go do that. And please don't let the fools of the world, who are blind and ignorant and dumb as they can be, that are so locked up in 3D matrix and their ego that they cannot see for themselves, please don't let them mar you in any way, taint you, or stop you for half a second in whatever your endeavors are. Holy is as holy does. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again, friends. Mwah.